Good afternoon, adventurers! Oh, it's 1 o'clock, and you know what that means? It's time for John's Dungeon Corner from the Collective in Altamont Springs, Florida. That's where I'm standing today. I feel energetic. No. Oh, you're wondering where all this is, don't you? Aren't you? Well, remember I told you that every once in a while we have a special guest drop by, and they do cool and exciting things, which have to do with Dungeons and Dragons or the miniatures. One of these days, we're going to have a dice person in here. I'm telling you, we're working on it. But so today, real quick, I just want to talk about, there's a couple of cool things that have come in. I'm going to kind of talk about it later on in the show. But there's two things that are happening, or one thing that's really cool that's happening coming up. One is October, the weekend of October. The first, we have the big Halloween thing going on. I talked to you about it. It goes on an entire weekend. Costuming, prizes, sales, events, all kinds of neat stuff. So I think that starts on Friday, runs through. Okay, so make sure, put that down. Make sure this is one of your stops that weekend. But in addition to what you're going to see here, there's going to be a special workshop run by the person who's running this today. I'm sure a lot of you know who I'm talking about, but I'm not going to say until she comes out here. But she is running a workshop on Saturday the 4th and on November 12th, which is a Sunday. So it's a Saturday and a Sunday. All right. We're going to talk about the hours. We're going to talk about what's going to be happening. Well, not really. I'm not going to be talking about it. My guest star, Fiona, is going to be talking about it. Welcome to the show.
Hey,
here she is again. Look at this. Oh, wait. There's people on it. I don't have the comments. There we go. Okay, there we are.
All right.
So, as many of you know, this is Fiona, and she's done a lot of cool stuff, and she's shown you about how to make some of the tiles. But she's actually going to get into the nitty gritty today, right?
Yes.
And then don't forget to tell them about the 4th and the 12th. That's really important.
Yeah. So what we're doing here in November, we're going to do it on the Saturday the 4th and on Sunday the 12th. You don't have to be here for both. It's the same information, but some people can't come on Saturday. Some people can't come on a Sunday. So that's why we're on both days. And on the 4th, the Saturday, it will be 10:30 to 2:30. And on the Sunday, it will be 11:30 to 3:30. What we're going to do is have a workshop on creating dungeon tiles. So I've shown you in the past how to make your three-dimensional terrain and how to make it look pretty. Well, what we're going to do is dungeon tiles. So you can create a map out of tiles that you yourself have made. It's really simple, really quick, and it's a lot of fun. So it's a $10 prepaid supplies fee. But you don't need to bring anything. All you need to do is bring yourself. And what happens is you'll get one sheet of this foam. This is an Army Painter product. And this is what's called expanded foam. It's not your standard packing foam. It's a specific type of foam. Oh, the packing foam, it shreds, it breaks. It's not fun, and everyone in the house will hate it.
I've been there and done that. It doesn't work.
So we will be using a lot of the Army Painted products during this workshop. And you start with your one sheet, and it is enough to give you 12 dungeon tiles. So how do you go from this to this without it being messy? And let me tell you, Army Painter has a handheld hot wire, and you can do a lot with it. I don't have very steady hands. So what I use is I have a tabletop hot wire.
Yeah. Wow, that's nice. Antonio, you got to see this.
So I went with this one because it's a little bit heavier, so it's not going to move as I am trying to put the foam through the hot wire. And the hot wire is right here. It's very, very thin. It only takes 1 second to go up to its operating temperature. And you have to be careful. You have a temperature change gauge. It will give you the guide here on what temperature to have it at and the on-off switch. During the workshop, we'll go through all of the safety procedures for all of the things that we have here, but I will have this here so that we
is
can
really
use
nice.
it. And it's so
Oh, here,
quick.
Let me put it up here so that they can kind of look at it, because look at all the cool stuff on here. It's not just about making those lines. Look at this. You have a radius over there where you can make circles. You can cut circles out.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, so this goes out quite a ways. You can
Yeah.
make quite a big piece of foam on here.
And it's a 7
Look at that.
inch from tabletop to the top of the arm. So you can get a very thick piece of foam through there.
That's really nice. Wow, that wire is like,
It's so thin.
this is really nice.
Yeah.
This is really nice. I like that.
So it's very easy to use. You just have to be careful. So, okay, we have cut our products. So what do we do from there? Well, all of the tools that I use, apart from the cutter and another one that I'm going to show you, fit in here. Very simple. There are things that are called texture rollers, and these are so much fun to use. There's many different styles. You can find them on Etsy, eBay, or you can make your own, and we'll cover how you can make your own.
You can kind of see it, see?
And what that does is you press down, roll over the foam, and it imprints a cobblestone effect, this particular one.
Oh, wow. I don't know if you can read. Oh, yeah, you can kind of see it. You can see it.
So I don't have to do that by hand. I just run that roller right over it.
Oh, that's really neat. Look at that.
Yep. And then what you do
That's
is
awesome.
you make all of your imprints and lines for your map squares on it before you put the primer on. So I've got this one. I've got a diagonal paver there because I want to do a wandering path on this one.
Yeah, so you got your texture, obviously, and then you've got the lines that are 1 inch squares for miniatures.
Now,
This is nice. Oh, wow.
I have just put the primer coat on this,
Before you go through,
which
yeah, to talk about the primer, because I've
Now-
had an incident.
now you have to use specific primers with your styrofoam.
Yes,
Because-
you really do.
Regular primer, especially any Rust-Oleum ones, they will melt your polystyrene.
No, you don't say. So let me tell you what happens, because in my infinite wisdom, once upon a time, I did. I first of all, I had the wrong foam, so
Yeah.
I had to vacuum forever trying to get that
Yes.
stuff up. That was the first mistake, but that wasn't bad enough. What I did was, lo and behold, primer. Oh, I got rust. I had a can of Rust-Oleum, and it was great, and I was happy. I'd drawn my lines, and it was already textured, because that's one thing, it's textured. I was trying to be smart, right? I take it, I go outside to the backyard,
Yep.
I start spraying. I can't remember what, but I turn around and talk. I look back, and it is melting.
It is
And I'm gonna tell you,
good.
it's melted. It's melting. It looked like the Wicked Witch on the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah,
I melted.
Yep.
I'm like, you gotta be. I was like, what did I do? Like, what the heck?
And that's where Army Painter has the full range. We have black. This is the snow and tundra with a blue tint.
I like that.
Then we have the desert, which is a yellow tone. And then the ruins and cliffs, which is the black tone. And then they also have the sealer. So once you are done, you can seal it. Your primer seals it so that you can paint over it. But when you're done, you want to protect that. So then you put that sealer over the top of it. This is just a paint stick. From
You know
Home
what?
Depot.
We're done. Wrap it up. Look at this guy. What custom tiles? Why does our campaign not have the high John? See what, guys? Why? Because John, you first of all used the wrong foam and the wrong primer, and it melted. The whole project melted.
Now, this one, using this cutter, I cut it down the thickness so I could cut a circle out. So I can
you
have
put
a
2 tiles
pond.
on there.
It's the one tile cut in half and then cut out the top part so I can have a pond or a pit. And this is just a standard regular tile without the cobblestone. Now, one of the things, this pretty light. So what do we do so it doesn't just fall around when it's on the table? There you go, a little bit heavier.
Pretty thick.
And it is literally just a piece of chipboard, 3x3. Now these are a little bit wider than 1 inch because once you do all your texturing and everything, becomes a little too small for your miniatures to fit on there. But that's cool because then you can have these and they can fit together. That gives you the weight so it's not going to fly around if someone breathes on it.
No, you're right. Right. See, she doesn't get it. It won't move on. Oh, I like that. Now this comes pre-cut.
Yep, this is pre-cut. Amazon, it's like $15 for 150 of them.
And now can you can cut these further down? Like if you want a hallway, you can just cut this and.
Yep, you could.
Or do they make other pieces at all?
You can look for it, but it would be easy to cut this down using like a little craft knife, like a exact.
Sure. You can just and then pop it.
Now,
That's nice.
Don't throw away your offcuts because you can cut these into thin pieces to do like shingles on a roof or anything like that. Little bricks if you want to build up a wall. You can use tools. You can use foil, you can use stones, you can use rollers, or to put impressions on your foam. Or you can print out something, lay it on here, use your pen, draw around it like you're tracing, and then go back and use your tools to make that a deeper impression. So lots of fun. The next step from this, and this is kind of a preview, I glued this so that it wouldn't come apart. You have to use specific glues.
Well, there we go. Specific glue. What kind of glue do we need?
Okay, with this one, when you're doing dimensional work like that, Gorilla Construction Adhesive. Okay. Now, when you first put it on, you got to give it an hour. Otherwise, you can play with it for that first hour, but after an hour, it will grip tight. 24 hours, it's fully cured. You can still cut it on a cutter without
you just ain't separating it. Well, you could cut it if you want to separate it.
But it's like if I was going to say, okay, I've glued this, but I want to cut it this way, I can still cut it on the hot wire, and it's not going to stop the hot wire from working. This is a couple of pieces that I've glued together, and they're tight.
Oh, yeah. Good grief. Even this little... Well, I messed it up, though. I tore it. My bad.
You broke the foam.
Oh, no. That was me. Yeah, but look, this piece of it... what happened was it was sticking out, and of course, me being the smart guy I am, see, this is why I don't build pretty things.
But you see, I can see here where the foam has torn away.
Yes.
So
it wasn't the glue.
Now, if you want to make it look pretty,
this is neat.
Now, Army Painter has all of these basing things and the tufts. Let me tell you, I have a box of pretty. These are all static grass. So you have certain colors here, but I've got extra colors. I have sand. Oh, you want snow? The snow here from Army Painter is a granular, like hard packed. This is a static grass, so it's fluffy snow.
Wow.
Yes, I'm a nerd. You can have fluffy or hard snow.
Hard or fluffy. Look at that. I like that. And then
you also have, this is green foliage and bushes. Here's your fall colors. So you can get sticks out of your yard, stick it in, glue a few of these on, looks like a tree.
That's really neat.
So there's lots of things that you can do to make it look pretty, but you have these tufts here. Well, there are tools, so you can make your own tufts in your own colors. These are really tiny.
Wow.
If you want to show them that. Now, to make your static grass work.
Guys. Look at this tool. I've never even seen this tool before. I ain't gonna lie. Look at that. Now, what's the holes up in here?
So to make static grass work, you need a static tool.
Oh, wow.
Now, what you do, it's a specific glue.
Yep. Oh, my gosh. That is so cool. Look at these tools.
So I use Eileen's Tacky Glue. It has more PVA than a standard PVA glue, so it will adhere stronger.
What's that one called?
It is Eileen's Tacky Glue.
Here we go. So here we go. There you go. And you can probably get this at Michael's.
Craft store, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Joann's.
Eileen's Tacky Glue. Love it.
Now, this basing glue has a certain level of PVA in it.
Okay.
Your school glue has a lower amount of PVA. This has more PVA.
Okay, talking about the school glue, don't eat this. Like you did the school glue and paste. Okay, remember that paste? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Come on, you know. Don't be going, what are you talking about? No, you know what I'm talking about.
So you
That looks
spread
neat.
you spread the glue. You have to
Okay.
dilute it just a little with water. And what this does, this has batteries in here, and you connect this to the surface that you've put the glue on, and you put your static grass in here. There's a little wire here that touches this wire mesh. And what you do, attach this, shake it, and what it does, it falls vertically so it becomes upright grass. With this tool, what you do, get yourself a little adapter, little bottle for precise delivery onto each of these circles, attach your alligator clip to the metal, and then you make your own tufts from whatever color static grass you want.
Wow.
So these tools I'll be bringing along so you can play with them, try them, see if you like them.
Wow.
Because you
That's
can have
amazing.
so much fun with it.
Make your own tuft.
Yeah.
I like that. So that's what these are about, different sizes, basically.
Different sizes. Because,
Now, where do you get those at?
The templates, that's online, Amazon,
Okay,
of course.
Of course.
Now, when you're painting these, if you want to do very fine detail, use your standard paints that you are hobby specific. But if you want everything to be the one color, use a regular paint from the craft store, regular foam brush, and just slather that on. And then go back and do your fine detail with your hobby specific paints. Now, if I was going to do everything snowy and I'm not going to do any of making it pretty, this color works fine. And I just do the detail. But I'm fussy and I like to make it look pretty.
Of course. So what are we going to do?
So what I would do with this, I'm like, okay, here's my standard primer. I want this to be grassy. We're going to have a couple of paths. So I would put some glue here, and I would use my static gun to put the static grass. It is messy. The best thing you can do when you're doing your static grass, put it inside a box like this, because you're going to be shaking out more of the grass than is going to adhere. So you need a way to pour it back into that. But we'll go over all that and all of the safety features, safety concerns. We will also be making sure that you walk away with at least 2 completed tiles, if not 3 or 4, because it will be 4 hours. And from the hardest thing and the thing that takes the longest time is deciding what you're going to do. Really, that's the longest time. Because once you decide, okay, I'm going to do a dungeon tile, it's going to look like this, it takes you maybe an hour complete. And that's with drying time.
From beginning to end.
From beginning to end, allowing for drying time. So it's just having the tools, knowing the tricks. Yeah. And when you're doing your static grass, you always paint the surface that you're putting it on the color that you want the grass to be, because
so it's we want this to be green. We paint this green.
Yep.
And then put the
now, if I wanted to put pathways here, then I could use this pathway dirt here, or I could use sand to make it.
Now, what about for a dungeon tile? So this one would be a great dungeon tile.
Yep.
And we just paint this, let's say, gray.
Yep, we're going to paint that gray.
And then for the details, now, because this is etched in.
That is what I have done personally.
Now I see that one over there has etching in it. That one.
Yep.
That one's etched in. This one's just lined. It doesn't feel. Oh, it does have its etch.
It's how deep you put it in. This one, all I did was I drew it. This one, I went back and I went, oh, let me grab this tool. And all it is a nail dotting tool, or if you have
it's a what?
Nail dotting tool. So it's for nails. So you can put it in the nail polish, put a dot there of nail polish.
Oh, okay.
They come in a package with different sizes. And what I do is I'm like, okay, here's the squares, but what I'm going to do is just run this down, not with a lot of force. And what it does is it makes that rounded and a deeper impression. And then I go around the corner and I just do a rounding of the corner so that it gives it more of an impression like that one. So it's obvious that that is the square that the miniature should sit in.
Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Welcome, Antonio and Sarah. Look at this. That's what that ends up being. See the impressions?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so since we have 3 new people to talk, let's show them. Hey, you got to see these tools. And we're gonna go.
Move these out of the way.
I'm sorry. I just want them to see these tools because these are amazing. Look, towel making just got easy.
Yeah.
Well, easier. I don't know if that. Look at this machine here. So this is the one. What's it do again? Tell them. Look at this.
It cuts your foam squares. You can adjust it. You can do a 45-degree angle cut. Circles. You can do all kinds of things. This is used a lot in manufacturing, this type of thing. If you want to build a prototype of something, you do it out of foam. And this is what you use to make the pieces. So this piece of foam will give you about 12 tiles. So what you do is you use this to cut it down. You use various glues and primers that are specific to foam use. Because if you don't use the right one, you're going to...
Hey, Tom, how are you? Oh, he recognizes the Proxon, huh? Is that what this is?
Yes.
Well, look at this guy. Tom's on top of the situation, man.
Yes.
That guy right there.
And then this is a static grass applicator.
Welcome to the show, by the way.
So that you can add grass that's standing up.
Standing up grass, okay?
Yep.
I love it.
So it looks realistic because we can always put like sand.
That has some of it, right?
This has some of it.
Let me show you this piece here. And these are the little pieces that you put on there, more tough.
Yep.
So here we go. See, so you can kind of, it's hard to see. I'm going to try to put it sideways. You can kind of see some of the stuff. Let me see sideways like that. It's kind of hard. But here's the neat thing for all of you who just joined us. Tell us them again on the 4th, November 4th and November 12th. Same exact class. It's going on.
It'll be 4 hours,
4 hours
of making your custom dungeon tiles.
Can't
on
beat that.
Saturday the 4th, 10:30 to 2:30. On Sunday the 12th, 11:30 to 3:30. It's the same class. It's $10 pre-purchase for supplies, and you don't need to bring anything but yourself. All of the tools will be available to use. You'll get one of these sheets, and then I'll have all kinds of other products available for you to use. We'll have communal use tools. We have a roller for texture that you could play with. One of the easiest things to use as tools is rocks out of your yard.
Rocks out of the, see, those rocks are good for something.
And another one that's really easy to use and everybody has in their house. Nope. Tinfoil. Kitchen foil.
Kitchen foil.
You roll it up into a ball very tightly, and then you can roll it on your foam to create texture.
Okay, I've seen that, but yeah, that's you said. I mean, that is nice. That is pretty easy, and this textures pretty easily. Yeah.
Yep. It textures.
Oh, let me show them this roller. So look at this roller. We kind of showed it off. You'll see it. You'll see it earlier in the show. But look at this neat roller she has here. That one actually imprints the tiles. Let me pull it back a little bit, baby. It imprints the tiles onto the foam, so it looks like, where's that one piece at? Let's see.
Probably back
there.
here.
Aha. So it makes it look like this, like dungeon tiles. Let me see if I can get a better shot of this. White on here is hard, but you can kind of see the impressions there. It gives you, it's nice. It's really
like
nice.
A cobblestone.
And you could go back with that little tool and I guess make them a little deeper, but I like this. And the neat thing is I saw that the other one has a little bit lighter impression.
Yep.
So you can make it to where maybe the tiles are starting to weather.
Yep.
You know, especially in the dungeon, how many feet? You could actually make it to where you can roll it on one side and roll it lightly on the other to where a lot of feet have gone back and forth.
Yep.
So there's a lot of things you can do.
That was what I did with this one. Uneven application.
Yep, there we go. That's an uneven. Here we go. That's a perfect. Well, okay. So right in here, where my finger, I'm running here. You can actually feel the impressions, see the impressions. Here, there's hardly any impression. Just enough to let you know, yeah, there used to be tile there. And same here. And I turned that off. Look at that. Oh, who is this? Oh, this is not gonna happen.
Also, because the foam is very light, to make it stay in place a little better.
Yep.
Has chipboard. I will bring chipboard so you can have this on the back of your dungeon tiles.
See it right there? It's a little bit smaller than a tile. I like that. So how big is this tile? Is this 3x3 or?
Because we allow space, each square is not 25 millimeters, it's 28 because we do the shaping and the so that there's enough space for a miniature to fit on
because
it.
of the base, and that's true.
Yep.
The base, a base should be able to fit right in there.
Yep.
So I like that.
So it ends up being 3 1/4.
Okay, but that fits nice because then look, then you got a nice edge on the backing, so you have space there. So and they go really nice together. Look at that. They go really nice together. Okay. So this is really cool.
Also, once it's got this chipboard on the back that gives it the weight, you can, if you want to, apply that self-adhesive magnetic stuff on the back and have a metal table. So
oh,
it doesn't
wow.
move.
Sure.
Yep.
Sure. Get a piece of sheet metal and just put it on your table and you can pop.
Yep. So if you want to do that, I'm not bringing magnets, but you can definitely do that yourself.
Tom says there are many dungeon tiles made with the Praxon back in Bren's back here. That's true. Yeah. That's true. This is I never even knew about it. I'm hot knife.
Yep.
The hot knife or the hot wire.
Yep. And that's the problem because my hands are not so.
No, that's the catch. You gotta be very sturdy when you do that.
Now, if you're going to use the handheld one, whatever the things that you can do, put it on the edge of your table. So let's say that's the hot wire there, and hold it in place with a clamp, and then it gives you greater control.
Sure.
To use that handheld hot wire. Handheld hot wires are really good if you're wanting to do like a rippled surface.
Right.
And the beauty with using hot wires, when you use a knife, doesn't matter how sharp it is, because I've used craft knives, X-Actos, scalpels, like those
scalpels.
Yeah.
She's a doctor now using scalpels. All right, folks.
Well, I do leather work, so scalpels work good for leather work. Doesn't matter how sharp your knife is, you always get a rippled surface
Dr.
when you're
Fiona
cutting it.
in another time and age.
But with a hot wire, you get a really nice straight edge.
I like that.
So now I will talk about during the workshop different foam that you can get, different places you can get it, because there's different foams.
Now, is that a good thickness to use?
This is generally a good thickness because it gives you good impression and allows you to cut it in half like I did with this one to do a pit or pond.
Right.
Now, if you go for ones that are thinner, because I know that you.
No, I know I've seen thinner, but I think that'd be too
it flexes too much, and when you
too flimsy.
When you use a roller or you're putting detail on it, it can split the surface.
Yeah,
so. But if you go and get it from a home store like Home Depot or Lowe's, they do sell it in this thickness, but it's most common in a 2 or 4 inch.
I've seen that. I think the 2 inches is a little bit too much.
But with a hot wire, you can always split it
and cut it in half
and cut it to the size that you need.
Right.
There are safety concerns, safety considerations. We will go over all of that in the workshop. But yeah, come along. We're going to have fun and we're going to get messy.
4 hours. It's a 4-hour class.
You don't have to stay for the whole 4 hours. Like I said, the longest time is going to decide what you're going to do with it. But you should be able to complete 1 tile each hour.
Look at that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm loving it. All right. I think that was great. I think this has been great.
And all of these products you can purchase here with the product specific.
I'll be honest with you. Did I just say that? Now, I know the foam, hey, go get your foam wherever makes you happy. But make sure the most important part to this that will kind of to re-emphasize and reiterate is the primer that you use. There's 2 things you got to do. Because you can paint this as it is, but I'll tell you this much: it does all kinds of funky things, and some tiles that even just sinks in. It looks horrible.
Yep.
Now, the primer. It doesn't matter what color. I'm just going to grab this one, which is the Wilderness and Woodland, the Game Master Primer. This is a terrain primer. It's made specifically for the polystyrene. This is specific to that. Okay, so that's that. It's not the miniature. It's not the same thing as the miniature stuff.
No.
Okay, don't do that because you say
That
primer, you're
removes
like,
it.
oh, this is hobby primer. Let me use that. You're gonna have a problem because you're gonna spray it on you.
And you're going to get texture you didn't want.
You're gonna get what I got, which was melted foam. So make sure, and then afterwards, you don't have to seal it. Let me tell you.
No.
But I've actually got pieces that I painted and didn't seal, and they chip, and they just imagine putting miniatures on it over time. It's just not good. This is great stuff. This terrain sealer.
Yeah.
This little bottle will do a lot. It's not like you're sitting up and you're putting Rust-Oleum on something with a sealer. This is just light coats.
Yep.
Okay, so this will last you a while, and I would definitely get. I mean, it's not even that much. What is this? Yeah, it's not even that much.
Now this is the Army Painter product,
Right.
and when you buy the package of
I like this though.
you get 7 sheets this size.
That's a pretty big.
So you're going to get at least 80 tiles.
At least now, and I know Fiona's showing you these size tiles. Now this is a 3x3. Do understand? You can cut this to a 4x4 or 5x5.
Yeah.
You can cut it as big as you want. Now, and that's something that I've seen.
And there's nothing to say that you couldn't go. This is the Grand Arena.
There you go.
There
That's
you go.
the Grand Ballroom.
And
The throne room.
Yep. Now, what you can do too is you can do dimensional work and build walls so that you can put walls on a base like that. So if that's what you want to do, you can definitely do that. You don't have to cut it, but I have it there so that you can try it out.
I like that. I like that. Now, have you built a dungeon? Have you built an entire labyrinth before?
I haven't because no one's asked me to.
That'd be pretty wild.
But if you're going to make movable walls, which I'm all about customization,
Sure.
the best thing that you can do is put little holes in here and get those little rare earth magnets. And where you have your connection points for your dungeon map, sink your rare earth mini magnets in there as well. So then you can just.
By the way, make sure that you put the right polarizations the right way.
Yes.
Because talking about, let me tell you, the hardest part of magnet work is not the magnets.
No.
The hardest part is remembering that as you put the pieces in, that the ones that are coming down, however you want to make sure you have the two different opposing polars. If not, you're going to get this boing.
Yep. Or you're going to be able to go spin.
Yeah, and spin, and you got nothing. Okay, so make sure that you set up your. It's interesting because it's been done with a miniature army, and they made a mistake because they wanted to change the arms.
Oh,
and it was the good thing was they just started, and it was a Space Marine army, and 10 of them, and they were doing the arms so that you could switch to different arm weapons and poses and stuff. And they went to put why you had the two opposing polars? So just fairly warned. You've been forewarned. But I like this. This is a lot of fun. Now, okay, so let's say you said each 3x3 takes about an hour.
Yep. That's drying time, doing all your detail work.
You're looking at, if you wanted to build a nice dungeon, you're probably looking at about a 3 or 4 day project.
Depending on how many tiles, it could be real quick. Because what you can do, if you're like, I'm going to do 10 tiles. Okay.
Oh, okay, 10 tiles. Okay, yeah.
So what you do is you make your 1-inch squares over the whole thing.
And
then cut it.
So now, okay, let's talk about. Do you suggest doing that first, doing that entire sheet? If it's going to be 1 inch by 1 inch, is it better to do all the 1-inch squares on there and then cut?
Yes,
you can. when you do the
you do any other detailing, that will blur that line. So any detailing that I want to do on that, like putting impressions in, I would do that first, and then do the 1-inch squares, and then cut it. But then you could do that whole thing on this.
Sure.
Now, if you're using a roller, you just got to be real careful about lining it up.
Right.
But you could roller the whole thing, do your 1-inch squares.
Does that go on
you can just put this on a piece of dowel on.
So do you think the paint roller thing would work on this?
Yeah.
Because I was thinking,
But
wow.
you have to put a
Can I
certain
see?
level.
See this? I'm
Try it on.
No,
that.
I don't want to try it. I wanted to. No, I'm looking at something differently. 1, 2.
About 2.5.
About 2 and
Yeah.
So it's like
But
1.
a paint roller wouldn't give you.
Yeah, that's the catch. You got to be able to put pressure on it, though.
Yeah, because a paint roller wouldn't give you, because you've got to really put pressure on that to get that.
Look at that. So see, she did this really quick. Look at this. This is what I mean. That's how easy it really is. Look at that. Just like that. Wow. No, I see what you're saying. That's and those impressions are nice.
And yeah, put a piece of dowel through here.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, so that sheet, you'd have to be really careful. You'd have to do one and then do another. And then on the last one, you have to move it over and you'd be half off the board. So you got to be real careful. That's what I wanted to see is.
If you were going to do the
I'm
whole
always looking
board,
at stuff like that.
I would say do the middle one first.
And then do 2 halves on the outside.
Yeah, because you have 3/4 on each side. So you're less hanging off.
Gotcha.
But yeah, you could do the whole sheet as like one thing and then just cut it into pieces.
Here, let me see one other thing. You know, this is just me. This is the way I think. 1, 2, 3. Wow. So you can fit this 4 across. You'd have a little bit left over as an edge. That's interesting. I'm just crazy like that because I am going to be here the 12th. I'll be here the 12th.
But I have to tell you, if you look on Etsy or eBay for these texture rollers, there's probably hundreds of them out there.
Good.
With all different styles.
Of dungeon tile.
Dungeon tiles. There's ones that give you like circular, like paved areas. So it's like in the middle of a town square.
Well, like a fountain area.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
There's like all different cultural themed ones. Go look.
Oh, wow. That got me all interested. That's very neat. I like that. And listen, here's the wonderful thing. Everything here, well, not the machines, okay? Not the machines. Because that's a totally different world there. But a lot of everything you see on the table as far as texture, the
basing,
glue,
the primers.
the primers, everything else is here available at the collection. You don't have to go far.
Yeah.
So if after this class it's something that really interests you, Army Painter does this one. Has a big box that has everything with the instructions. And it's a really nice box. It's very nice. They've got an addition.
Comes with some of these. Comes with the handheld hot
and then
wire.
They actually come. Then there's one that comes just with that.
Yep. The refill set of this, 7 sheets.
That's not bad.
Yeah. You know, and I'm always, support your local game store.
Absolutely, because without the game stores, what you got?
Nothing. Nowhere to go. And later on, if people like, hey, can we have another day where we just come in and we use stuff rather than everyone having to buy this? Yeah, fine.
So what does something like this run? Do you remember?
This one, it's currently selling for about $140.
It's not bad.
But it comes with 100 feet of the wire here.
Oh, so that wire lasts a while, though, huh?
Oh, yeah. Now,
I didn't even notice this little spool up here.
Now, when you're putting it through, you can't just push it through.
So it's a slow process.
But the temperature that you have it depends on how quickly you put it through. If it's too low, you've got to go really slow. If it's too hot, you're going to be wobbling all over the place because it's too hot.
Right. What's good temperature?
Depends on the thickness.
So this thickness.
Yep. This thickness, I put it at a 3. So that
3. Beautiful number.
That I can just do it like this.
Okay.
And it goes through. Doesn't harm this. It's not, I haven't got it really taut because I'm traveling with it.
Sure.
But
so you can torque it down here, I guess. Up here? Okay. That's really neat. Well, thank you, Fiona. This has been amazing. I love this. All right. So there it is. I think this has been great. Look at that. We always run so perfect. But anyway, thank you, Fiona.
You're
welcome.
Wonderful
having you always as a guest.
And come on down and check it out and have some fun.
Absolutely. So remember, 3 days, 2 different events. First, the weekend of Halloween. Come down. There's all kinds of wonderful things happening.
The weekend of the 26th.
All the way through
And then the sale, I think, or the event's going through to the 31st.
There you go. You can't beat that,
So-
right? So you got all that happening here. And then on the 4th, which is that Saturday, and then on the 12th, which is 2 Sundays from then, okay, Fiona's going to be having all this out here so you can make your own tiles. It's $10. Let me tell you, $10 to try to get into this and see if you like it or don't.
Yep.
Little investment. Hey, I've never done this before. Let me see if it's something I even want to do.
Yeah.
It's great. Rather than having to go buy a whole kit and all this stuff, then
Yeah.
you know, do I want to do this? Do I not? How far do I want to go with it?
Absolutely.
I love this. This is wonderful. This is what the collective is all about. Introducing people to people and into new things and new pathways.
And you never know if you want to put the investment out there, you know, unless you try it.
Exactly. For $10, you can't beat it.
Yep. And
All
I
right.
mean, I do so much with this, not just dungeon tiles. I do a lot of other stuff with that's craft related. So, you know, you always think of ways
Tom
to
says,
use
thank
them.
you. Thanks, Noah.
You're welcome, Tom.
All right. So I guess that's it for today. It's been wonderful, though. It's been very enlightening.
Yes.
But anyway, so, hey, this is John
And
and
Fiona.
from John's Dungeon Corner in
Have a
Altamont
great
Springs,
weekend.
Florida. As always, may the road rise up to meet your feet. May all your investments successful, and I will see you next Friday right here. Take care. Have a wonderful weekend. See you then. Bye, guys.